This is a huge, huge issue in our sporting society here in America, especially at these pre-high school levels. Playing time. Number one factor by far, children in sports play sports to play. They don't sign up to watch. They don't sign up to watch me coach. They don't sign up to watch the clouds in the sky. They don't sign up just to watch the world go by. What they sign up to do is play. Your number one mission as a coach in a game is to get kids playing time. And if your weaker players, your less developed players, end up costing you the game and the win, as I've said before, if that hurts you too much, get out of this level. Believe me, you can't understand how many games I have lost on the scoreboard in my life because I played weaker kids. And you know what? I didn't really care because I've won a few games in my life as a player when my ego was being stroked 30 years ago. Fine. That was my world. And that was a moneyed world, and that's what winning does at that level. That's what you're supposed to do. But at this level, when you're talking 3rd to 8th grade players, if you think winning the game is the most important thing you do, as I've said, it's time to retire. Now, with that said, playing time, number of kids on the team, number of kids you bring to the game, minutes, running time. There are a lot of distinct variables here. I don't want to confuse my audience here with a whole lot of math, but I do want to go into a couple of distinct ways you can look at it. Number one, let's get to middle school first, 6th to 8th grade. Your standard length of game at these levels would be anywhere from 24 to 32 stopped minutes, which means when the referee's whistle blows, the clock starts. We also have running time games where you might be playing 20, 25 minutes of running time for a half, or maybe 15 or 12 minutes for a quarter. Running time, I always use the 0.6 factor. So let's say you had a 40-minute running time game. Multiply that by 0.6. That really means a 24-minute stopped game. And oftentimes in those running minute games, you have a stopped last minute so people can shoot foul shots and the clock stops, that sort of thing. I'll leave the running time stuff alone. Let's talk about stop time. It's a little easier. So let's say you have a 32-minute middle school game. You can play 5 on the court at once. Therefore, if you multiply 5 times 32, you have 160 playing minutes. If you only had 24 minutes for that game, and some of those middle school games are that short, you would only have 120 minutes to give to the players on your team. So there it is. Unless your game goes into overtime, then you have a few extra. But let's stay with the regulation time. 160 playing minutes. And you have a certain amount of players on your team. I have seen 10. I've seen 15. I've seen all the way up to 20. Coaches don't want to cut kids. They want to keep as many. Please listen to what I'm about to say. At these ages, well into the younger ages, and forget about the playing time at those ages, they should be running around playing 3-on-3 having fun at the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade level. But let's stick to 6th, 7th, and 8th. If you have 12 kids on your team and you have 160 playing minutes, do the math. That is roughly 13 minutes per kid if everybody's playing somewhat equal time. I do know this after studying it very hard for the last 20 years. A child at this level in a game needs at minimum 12 minutes. And I love 15, 16, and more to play the game and learn how to play. If you think you're doing a kid a favor, especially one of your weaker kids, by playing them 2 minutes, playing them 4 minutes in the game, and you're patting yourself on the back saying, hey, I finally got Sally in the game, I finally got Billy in the game, you are doing that kid a grave disservice. That is a cameo appearance. That does nothing for the kid to help that kid learn how to play basketball. And I'll be honest with you, if you ever watch this, and I've seen it way too many times, some kid in 2 minutes, knowing that he's going to get jacked by the coach out of the game, will make all sorts of mistakes, will be nervous, run like a deer in the headlights, and back on the bench. And then the coach saying, see, I proved it. That kid can't do anything. Yeah, well, you put the kid in for 2 minutes, and he or she knew you were going to put him for 2 minutes. They got nervous, and then they messed up, and then the coach says, that's why I don't play this kid. Again, that gets back to what it really should be. Here is my idea, several of them. Youth basketball should never have more than 10 players on a team. If you have 12, 15, 18, you don't want to cut, make a second team. Sometimes that's feasible, sometimes it isn't. If you have a second team, then you might have 2 teams of 9 or 2 teams of 10. Ideal is 8 for a youth basketball team. Why 8? because then with those 160 minutes, if you have 160 minutes, you can get every kid at least 20 minutes in a game. And even if you're not playing them equally, some kids may play 23 or 25, but even those weaker kids will still be playing 15, 16, 17 minutes a game. That gives them an opportunity to learn how to play the game and be out there than just a cameo appearance. And by the way, if you know why I pick 8, and I know some of you are thinking, well, how are we going to scrimmage 5-on-5 in practice because we only have 8 players? I understand this, but what's more important? Playing 5-on-5? I'd advocate playing 4-on-4 in practice anyways. That would give kids more touches. You've got 8 kids. You get them lots of playing time, lots of touches, lots of chances to feel the game. If you have the ability to make other teams, because you may be in a community that more kids want to play than just the 8 that you have. 20 minutes per game, 160-minute games, and even if you're playing 120 minutes, 24 minutes times 5, you still get a chance to get kids 15 minutes a game when you have more than 10 kids. Here is the ideal situation. I tell coaches all the time, never take more than 10 kids to a game. Because if you take 12, if you take 15, and you want to sub and you want to get kids playing time, you'll spend most of your time just worrying about shuttling kids in and out, especially if you don't have assistant coaches to help you pack the players in and out of the game. However, if you do have 12, if you do have 15, do yourself a favor. Schedule a few more games. Let's face it, you've got 12 kids on a basketball team, the normal size basketball team we have here in America. That is a factor of 2.4. If you were coaching baseball, that would be 23 kids. If you were coaching softball, that would be 25 kids. If you were coaching soccer, I can't even do the math. That would be in the high 20s. Are you kidding me? Have any of you out there ever coached a baseball team with 23 kids? Have you ever coached a softball team with 25 kids? My answer is no. You never have. But that's what we do in youth basketball. And the reason we do it is because coaches want to practice 5-on-5. Okay, a laudable and noble goal. But the more laudable and noble goal is getting those kids playing time during the game. And if you have 12, then what you've developed is a sport where 7 kids watch and 5 play. I don't like those numbers. I don't want to ever get into one of these gyms, and I've seen it way too often, where you've got 5 kids running up and down against some of the other 5 kids, and then there's 7 kids watching on each team. That's 14 kids sitting in a gym like this watching 10 play. As I said earlier, with 2 side courts, if you divvy those teams in half, now you would have 20 kids playing, and you would have 4 kids watching. That sounds better to me. What do I want kids doing? Playing. I don't want them watching just because we've set up some sort of formula that looks like the local high school or the local college team. So playing time. Look at your minutes. Look at how many you have to give out. Look at the size of your program. Can we get another team? Can we get another 2 teams? Do we have gymnasium space to do this? I've already shown you how here, where you can play 2 games instead of 1 in this gym. And oftentimes that's ignored because people want to play on the main court, which is wrong. I always favor playing time for kids. Why? Because kids want to play. That's why they're out here, to play. But these kids only come through the program once. And at these developmental ages, they want to play. That's their role out here. And our coaching challenge and our coaching mission is to give them every chance we can to play. It's not winning. Winning is something that adults like to do. Kids like to play. You ask any child, would they rather sit in that bench the whole game and watch their team win? No, not at all. Oh, they'll tell you, yeah, we won the game, we didn't lose. But I'll tell you what, you play them the whole game, and they lose the game, and chances are they're going to say, hey, this was kind of fun. At least I got a chance to play.